The resignation letter felt heavy in my hands as I stood outside my father's office at Mitchell Industries. Through the glass walls, I could see them all gathered: Dad, my older brother Peter, and the board members who'd spent the last 5 years undermining every innovation I'd tried to bring to the company. Ready to commit career suicide, little sister? Peter's voice dripped with condescension as he opened the door. His perfect suit and carefully styled hair screamed corporate air, just as he intended. I straightened my shoulders, gripping the letter tighter. At 32, I was done being the family disappointment, the one who kept pushing for digital transformation while they clung to their outdated methods. The board is waiting, Sarah, Peter smirked. Though I don't know why you need a formal resignation. It's not like your position as digital strategy director actually matters. A position they'd created to placate me, while systematically ignoring every recommendation I'd made. 5 years of watching our competitors embrace technology while Mitchell Industries remained stubbornly anchored in the past. The boardroom fell silent as I entered. Dad sat at the head of the table, his expression a mixture of anger and disappointment. The same look he'd worn when I'd first proposed modernizing our supply chain management. Sarah, he began, Peter tells me you're having another of your moments. Another of my moments. Like when I'd warned them about Amazon's impact on retail distribution. Or when I'd proposed developing an AI-driven inventory system. All dismissed as moments by people too comfortable with their old ways. I'm resigning, I said, placing the letter on the table. Effective immediately. The room erupted in poorly concealed chuckles. Board member Harrison, Dad's golf buddy, actually rolled his eyes. And what exactly do you plan to do? Dad demanded. Start your own company. Revolutionize the industry. His air quotes around revolutionize made several board members snicker. Peter lounged in his chair, enjoying the show. Let me guess, another of your tech ideas? Apps and algorithms going to replace 70 years of real business experience. I thought of the patents already filed in my name. The team of developers I'd been quietly assembling. The venture capital funding secured under a shell company they knew nothing about. I'm going to do what I've been trying to tell you to do for 5 years, I replied calmly. I'm going to build something that works in this century, not the last one. Good luck surviving without us. Peter laughed, standing to usher me out. Maybe you can start a nice little Etsy shop. Something more your speed. Dad didn't even look up from his papers. When this fails, and it will fail, don't expect your position here to be waiting. As Peter practically pushed me toward the door, he couldn't resist one final dig. The family company's been around for 70 years, Sarah. What makes you think you know better than everyone in this room? I turned back, looking at their smug faces one last time. Because everyone in this room is so busy protecting the past, they can't see the future coming. Clear out your office by noon, Peter called after me. Some of us have real work to do. In my office, more like a glorified storage room, I packed 5 years of ignored proposals, market analyses, and development plans. My real office, the one they didn't know about, was already set up across town. My phone buzzed, a message from Maya, my head of development. Server migration complete. We're ready when you are. I smiled, thinking of the 18 months I'd spent preparing for this day. The late nights, the secret meetings, the careful gathering of clients who were as frustrated with Mitchell Industries' outdated methods as I was. As I walked out of Mitchell Industries for the last time, Peter's voice echoed from the lobby. Good luck competing with a real company, little sister. I didn't turn back. They'd see soon enough what real competition looked like. 6 months into launching NextGen solutions and we were already making waves. Our AI-driven supply chain management system, the same one Mitchell Industries had rejected, was revolutionizing how mid-sized companies handled distribution. Another client switching from Mitchell, Maya announced, dropping a contract on my desk. That's 15 this month. I looked out from our modern office space, all glass, steel, and innovation, toward the Mitchell Industries building in the distance. Their once imposing logo seemed smaller from here. Have they noticed yet? Maya asked, pulling up our growth metrics. Oh, they've noticed, I smiled, opening an email from my mother. Her weekly updates about family drama had become increasingly focused on business concerns. Peter's been shouting at everyone, the email read. Dad's golf buddies on the board are getting nervous. Something about losing market share to a tech upstart. Please call home. I archived the email without responding. They'd had 5 years to listen. Now they could watch. My phone buzzed, a text from Peter. Real cute, Sarah. Poaching Miller and Sons? That account's been with us for 30 years. I thought about responding, telling him how Miller and Sons had approached us after Mitchell's outdated systems caused a 3-day supply chain failure. But some lessons are better learned the hard way. Ms. Mitchell? My assistant's voice came through the intercom. The Reuters reporter is here for your interview. The article would run next week. NextGen Solutions: How a Tech Visionary is Disrupting Traditional Supply Chain Management. The photographer wanted to get the Mitchell Industries building in the background. Irony made for good press. Sarah. A familiar voice boomed across our reception area. Harrison, Dad's golf buddy, stood there looking decidedly less smug than he had 6 months ago. We need to talk. I let him wait 20 minutes before seeing him. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Definitely. This little game needs to stop, he announced, declining to sit in my offered chair. You're disrupting established business relationships. The board is concerned. Concerned enough to finally consider digital transformation? I asked, pulling up our latest performance metrics. Because we're about to launch phase 2, and your established relationships might want to see what's coming. His face reddened. Listen here, young lady dash. No, you listen, I cut him off. For 5 years I tried to tell you this was coming. Now it's here. And that's just the beginning. Maya appeared at my door. Sorry to interrupt, but Google's procurement team is on the line. They want to discuss expanding the partnership. Harrison's face went from red to pale. Google had been on Mitchell's target client list for years. Think carefully about your next board meeting, I advised him as he turned to leave. Because in 6 months you might not have much left to discuss. After he left, Maya grinned. Google's not calling, are they? They will be, I winked. Tomorrow at 10. Along with Amazon and 3 other tech giants who are very interested in our neural network distribution model. That evening, as I reviewed potential acquisition targets, another email arrived from Dad this time. The board is willing to reconsider some of your proposals. Come home. We can discuss a better position. I thought about the late nights they'd mocked, the innovations they'd dismissed, the condescension they'd shown. Then I looked at our company's latest valuation. $180 million and growing. Thanks for the offer, I replied, but I'm exactly where I need to be. Peter's response came minutes later. You're making a mistake. You can't build something bigger than Mitchell Industries. I glanced at the prototype designs for our next platform, the one that would make our current system look primitive. Watch me, I whispered, declining his call. The next morning, the Wall Street Journal ran a story about Mitchell Industries' falling stock price. The headline asked, Can old guard companies survive the digital revolution? Maya stuck the article on our office wall, right next to my old Mitchell Industries ID badge. Ready to launch phase 2? She asked. I looked at the growing team of innovators we'd assembled, many of them former Mitchell employees who'd seen the future and chosen to be part of it. They thought I was starting a company, I said. I'm starting a revolution. 18 months after my resignation, NextGen Solutions had become the talk of the industry. Our valuation had hit $400 million, and Mitchell Industries was feeling the pain. Their stock had plummeted 60%, and their biggest clients were jumping ship faster than they could hide it. I sat in my corner office reviewing the latest acquisition reports when my assistant buzzed. Your brother's here. He doesn't have an appointment. Through the glass walls, I could see Peter pacing in reception, his perfectly tailored suit now looking somewhat worn, his confident swagger replaced by nervous energy. Send him in, I said, pulling up Mitchell Industries' latest financial reports on my screen, reports that showed exactly why my brother had swallowed his pride to come here. Nice place, Peter muttered, looking around my office, 3 times the size of his at Mitchell. Very modern. What do you want, Peter? He ran a hand through his graying hair. When had that started? And dropped into a chair. You have to stop this, Sarah. Dad's health isn't good. The board is in panic mode. We've lost 60% of our major accounts. Funny, I leaned back. I remember warning you about this exact scenario. What did you call it? Oh right, tech fantasy nonsense. This isn't a joke, he snapped. Mitchell Industries is dying. Your own family's company. No, Peter. Dad's company is dying. Your company is dying. Because neither of you would listen. My phone buzzed, a text from Maya. Microsoft just signed. Full platform integration. Peter's eyes darted to my phone, desperate for information. We're preparing to modernize, he said quickly. The board has approved a digital transformation budget. We could use your expertise. I pulled up a different screen, the list of former Mitchell employees now working for me. Interesting timing. Your modernization plan wouldn't happen to be a response to losing your entire tech development team to NextGen, would it? His face reddened. They were poached. They were ignored, I corrected. Just like I was. Now they're helping build something that works. My assistant buzzed again. Mitchell Industries board chairman Harrison is here too. Also without an appointment. Peter shifted uncomfortably. I told him not to come. Send him in, I called back, watching Peter's face fall. Harrison looked older than I remembered, his golf buddy confidence replaced by desperate determination. Sarah, he nodded, trying to maintain some dignity. We need to discuss a merger possibility. Actually laughed. A merger? You mean a rescue? Call it what you want, Harrison replied. Mitchell Industries has 7 decades of experience of doing things wrong, I interrupted. Now you want NextGen to save you from your own stubbornness? Peter leaned forward. Think about Dad. About the family legacy. I did think about it. For 5 years I thought about nothing else. While you were all laughing at my tech fantasies, I was trying to save Mitchell Industries from exactly this situation. My phone buzzed again, another text from Maya. Their Q3 numbers just leaked. It's worse than we thought. Trading's been halted. Harrison's phone rang almost immediately. He stepped out to take the call, his hands shaking slightly. What do you want? Peter asked quietly. Name your price. A board seat? Seato position. I stood up, walking to the window that overlooked the city. 2 years ago I offered to help modernize Mitchell Industries for free. You all laughed. Now you want to know my price. Harrison rushed back in, his face ashen. Trading's suspended. The numbers. They're calling for an emergency board meeting. Better hurry, I smiled. Wouldn't want to miss watching the past finally catch up with you. As they turned to leave, Peter paused at the door. You're really going to let Mitchell Industries fail? Your own family's legacy. I picked up a tablet, showing them NextGen's latest platform design. No, Peter. I'm replacing it with something better. Something that should have been built 5 years ago. They left looking shell-shocked, but I wasn't done yet. Phase 3 was about to begin, and Mitchell Industries' collapse was just the opening act. The next 2 weeks unfolded like a slow-motion corporate avalanche. Mitchell Industries' stock went into free fall after their Q3 numbers leaked. Emergency board meetings turned into crisis management sessions, which turned into bankruptcy discussions. I watched it all from my office, each day bringing a new wave of former Mitchell employees clutching resumes, hoping to join the future they'd once mocked. Your father's in the lobby, Maya announced one morning. He looks different. Different was an understatement. The mighty James Mitchell, who'd once commanded rooms with his presence, sat slumped in our reception area, looking every bit his 68 years. Sarah. He stood as I approached, his voice lacking its usual authority. You look successful. We moved to my office, the silence heavy between us. He stared at the wall of awards NextGen had accumulated: innovation prizes, tech leadership recognition, disruptor of the year. The board forced me out yesterday, he finally said. Unanimous vote. Even Peter agreed. I let that sink in. Peter, who'd spent his entire career being Dad's yes man, had finally found his spine at the worst possible moment. They're filing Chapter 11 next week, he continued. 7 decades of Mitchell Industries gone. He looked at me directly for the first time. Unless I save it? I finished. You were right, he admitted, each word seemingly painful. About everything. The digital transformation, the AI integration, all of it. We were wrong, I supplied. Catastrophically, stubbornly wrong. My phone buzzed, the news alert I'd been waiting for. Mitchell Industries announces bankruptcy filing, tech rival NextGen Solutions expected to acquire key assets. Dad saw the headline on my screen and seemed to deflate further. So that's your plan? Buy our carcass? No, I pulled up a presentation on my wall screen. This is my plan. The slides showed NextGen's next phase. A complete reinvention of supply chain management through quantum computing and advanced AI. The technology I'd tried to bring to Mitchell Industries years ago, now evolved into something far more powerful. We're not buying Mitchell Industries, I explained. We're launching a platform that makes its entire business model obsolete. Then why am I here? He asked quietly. I pressed a button and the presentation shifted to a new corporate structure. Because despite everything you did build something valuable: relationships, trust, 7 decades of business knowledge. Knowledge that could be useful if applied correctly. His eyes widened as he understood. You want me to work for you? I want you to learn from me, I corrected. As a senior advisor. No authority, no board seat, no control. Just your experience properly channeled. And Peter can submit his resume like everyone else. HR reviews all applications equally. Dad stared out my office window toward the Mitchell Industries building, its logo now looking sad and faded. Your mother wants the family to reconcile. She's planning a dinner. I'll come, I said, surprising us both. But not to reconcile. To show them what real success looks like. That evening after Dad left, Maya brought in the latest server statistics. Our system had processed more transactions in one day than Mitchell Industries had in its last quarter. Their HR department sent over their employee files, she mentioned. Lot of resumes coming tomorrow. I thought about Peter probably updating his LinkedIn profile right now. About Harrison and the board members who'd laughed at my proposals. About all the executives who'd dismissed the little girl with big tech dreams. Send them to the standard application portal, I decided. Let them learn how the future works. The next morning my assistant could barely contain her smile. Your brother's in the waiting room. With a resume. And he's not alone. Through the glass walls I could see them, Peter, Harrison, 3 board members and a handful of Mitchell executives. All sitting awkwardly with portfolios in their laps, watching NextGen employees zip past with tablets and holo projectors. Should I send them in? She asked. I looked at my calendar, already full of meetings with tech giants and global partners. Tell them to apply online. Like everyone else. And Peter. I thought about all his mockery, his dismissal, his arrogance. Tell him the intern positions are already filled. My phone buzzed. Mom's dinner invitation for Sunday. Time to show the family what real success looks like, the text read. I smiled, thinking of the announcement we'd be making next week. NextGen wasn't just surpassing Mitchell Industries. We were redefining the entire industry. Confirm the dinner, I told my assistant. And send everyone in the waiting room our latest press release about the Microsoft partnership. Let them see what they could have been part of. Sometimes success isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about building something so right that they have no choice but to admit it. The Mitchell Industries logo finally went dark last week. But NextGen's lights burn brighter every day, illuminating not just a building, but the future they were too proud to see coming.